I want to thank you all for coming to your city of South Fulton council meeting. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mayor William Bill Edwards.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ralph. Here. Councilmember Gums.
Here.
Councilmember Willis.
Here.
Councilmember Gilliard.
Here.
Councilmember Jackson.
Here.
Councilmember Khalid. Here. And Councilmember Baker.
Present.
We now have invocation by our chaplain, Pastor Henry, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Chairman of the Council, if I may, I traveled down to Huntsville, Alabama on yesterday for the funeral service for Sarah Harmony.
Pastor Henry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Thank you. Mayor, City Council. On yesterday, we had the opportunity to travel to Huntsville, Alabama for the funeral service for Sarah Harmony, the 17-year-old who was killed in a fatal accident on Camp Creek Parkway and Merck Road. Councilman and Mayor, I just want you to know that Madison County Commissioner Chairman Dale Strong said he's been watching us, that we're national, and he said, this one we got right. And they applauded the city of South Fulton for the care that was rendered to their loved one. Upon this, I'd just like to read that Sarah was a unique kid. And she wrote these words, she said, and I quote, "I have prayed and I know God has called me to it. So whatever happens is within His will." God has called all of us to the city of South Fulton. And whatever happens is within His will. Let us pray. Dear gracious God, we are so grateful for the love that has been revealed throughout the world from the city of South Fulton, from the mayor, from the council, and all the citizens. We may not always say the right thing, oh God, but you always give us an opportunity to do the right thing. And when that time comes, the right thing is always done. You have reminded us that this is a place of love and grace and care. We have demonstrated it throughout. So because we are destined to do what we do, because you have called all of us, continue to pour your blessings and anointing upon our mayor and our council, but also, oh God, upon all the citizens of the city of South Fulton. This we pray as you bless us tonight. Let us all say amen.
Amen.
Let us all stand. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I would like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Properly moved and second in discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. This one that you have to do.
Things that we need to do actually to amend this motion to include the items from the work session that were moved from the regular meeting agenda to consent. And that includes on page 2 of the agenda, under resolutions, item 2017-016, this is for medical, dental, vision, and life benefits for employees. Roman numeral 2 of resolution, adopting defined contribution plan and the 457B plan has been moved to consent. Item number 3, a resolution designating the legal organ for the city. Roman numeral 6, a resolution authorizing the city to request and accept due compensation from telephone companies. So those additional 4 items are being moved to the consent agenda to be approved along with the minutes.
I think those items, you just calling the items out. I think the motion is okay. So at this point, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All who oppose? That passes unanimously. Also entertain a motion to approve the regular agenda, will you sign the regular agenda for?
Certainly. Mr. Mayor, members of council, the regular meeting agenda items under business will include Roman numeral 4 under resolutions, and that's a resolution to adopt the fiscal year 2017 budget. During the work session, Roman numeral 5 was requested to be held to the next meeting, which is on June 27th. And then all of the ordinances on today's agenda under letter B, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are ordinances that we just heard for first reading today, and then again at the next meeting to be considered for approval.
So let the public know that the ordinances that we read will be for, what do we say before? Information. Okay. I'll take a motion to accept the regular agenda. I'll accept that motion.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the regular agenda.
Second.
Properly moved to second. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye. Aye. Those who oppose, that motion carries.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, that takes you to the public comment portion of today's meeting. Speakers will be granted up to 2 minutes each, and public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. We have received 10 speaker cards. If the first 3 speakers would please approach the podium at this time, Ms. Angie Watkins, Mr. Greg Fan, and Ms. Charlotte Davis.
Good evening to everyone, Angie Watkins, South Fulton. So nice to be here, so nice to see you looking well. First thing I'd like to ask for, and I don't know that we do have it, but I'd like to see a certified boundary map. I know there are issues with GIS, but do we have a certified boundary map that outlines the city of South Fulton? The other thing, it's from my heart, so bear with me just a moment, please. I pray and I honestly appeal to you, to whatever differences you all may have, work it out before you come to the council meeting. This is an honorable place. This is honorable business. I was back here in the day working in the People's Campaign and worked with the Transition Commission and worked at Pastor Henry's church for a whole year. We had one heck of a time together under Pastor Henry's leadership. And some of the things I've heard have not been good, but I beg and I appeal to you, all of you. This is not about you. It's not about me. It's about the city. And I said to Pastor Henry, Pastor Henry, it's time for a good old time revival. We need to come home, y'all. We need to go somewhere and just pray up this city and get our stuff in order. Let's do it right. Just like the gentleman said, they've been watching us from wherever. So please, let's do it right. Thank you. Thank you.
As always, in order. But I come tonight as I'm Greg Fan, I'm the Executive Director for the employees of Fulton County. And I came tonight to speak to those issues that you have on consent. So I see that you've already approved those issues, but I certainly hope that as you continue to move forward and looking at the employees that you will bring over, that you will continue to do the right thing by the employees as you've done tonight. I thank you so much. And as I always say, you know what I'm going to say, Mr. Mayor. God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless America. Thank you.
Good evening. On November 8, 2016, Atlanta voters overwhelmingly approved 2 ballot referendums authorizing investment in transportation infrastructure, one of which was the MARTA expansion within the city of Atlanta, which was to allow MARTA to purchase new buses at frequent services and introduce new bus routes, among other things. MARTA's response: to prioritize transitioning to a rapid transit commuter services. MARTA, on April 16th, MARTA has and will continue to make major service changes affecting over 30 critical lifeline routes, eliminating 50% of the bus stops, eliminating major sections of existing routes, eliminating routes entirely, thus eliminating access, critical lifeline services within the city of Atlanta and the city of South Fulton, as well as relocating 30% of the remaining bus stops to questionable location. Many on-demand bus stops have been relocated into questionably accessible as well as dangerous locations on grass and yards, away from corners, away from street lights, away from crosswalks, away from traffic lights, into the middle of the blocks. Many with personal mobile units with now limited alternatives must literally wait in the streets. It is very unclear what definition and criteria of unsafe or safe MARTA is utilizing in determining bus stop placements. The community was only told there would be modification, not major service changes, and given little and nothing, or no detail of elimination or relocation of any bus stops. No visuals were and are currently available for public access of these modifications, comparing the old versus the new, no overlays. Prior to even considering making major service changes, MARTA is required by law to obtain the input and consideration of lifeline needs of the community MARTA serves. There's nothing in any documents that were and are currently being presented to the community that shows the elimination of bus stops and the relocation of any of the remaining services. MARTA is supposed to have hearings. Documents provided of these hearings are inadequate and misleading.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Could
you.
you give your name? I didn't get your name.
Charlotte Davis. Thank you.
The next three speakers are Mr. Harold Reed, Mr. Roger Davis, and Ms. Glenda Collins.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Harold Reed, and I reside at 7521 Cole Lane. As you pursue your review of the zoning resolution of the City of South Fulton, I urge you to consider the implementation of an impact fee structure for new development within our city. Impact fees have been used successfully and effectively throughout the metropolitan area as an adjunct funding source for infrastructure and transportation enhancements and improvements. As we are currently in a growth mode with regional projections for this growth to accelerate over the next 15 to 20 years, we need to begin to plan now for the influx of new residents expected in the area over that period. We bill ourselves as a destination, but we must be ready for the people when they get here. T-Splosh will not last forever. Thank you.
Good evening. This is for Mayor and Council. With all the accidents that have been happening lately in the area that are on state-controlled roadways, are there any plans to reach out to GDOT to have them come out to review the roads and the situations out here?
Following Ms. Glenda Collins, Mr. John Ross is from the proposed Federal Credit Union, and Mr. Eric Bell.
Glenda Collins, Morning Creek Drive. Hello, Mayor and Council. My question is regarding the budget for $26,000,007. The county, I understand, as of the last meeting, needed us to pay $667,000. Now, will those funds will the budget be realigned, or will the funds be taken from the borrowed money? If the budget is realigned to pay Fulton County and other unexpected charges, how will the city be able to function financially for 5 months? And on the AT&T telephone, does this comply, the 3%, does this comply to landline and cell phone, or just landline only? Thank you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor William Bill Edwards, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, and City Manager. We're here tonight to announce something very unique, something very special. But more importantly, I want to say to you, Mayor Edwards, that you've gone around the city saying to us that the government ain't our dad. You remember that one? That the government ain't our daddy. You remember that one? Well, you know you're going to be faced with limited resources. You know you still got to be charged with finding ways to help your constituents live a better life and to increase access to capital for all people in South Fulton. And that's one of the reasons we're here to announce a potential solution here that Dr. Chisillo will share, ways that you can address that.
I'll be very brief. We have a huge opportunity to respond to the needs of all of our citizens, especially those who want to grow and develop financially and to access capital through the support of Councilman Mark Baker and the opportunity that the city of Fulton County, as well as the city of Fulton, as well as College Park, we have this opportunity to open doors on a credit union that will serve your citizens and citizens throughout the College Park area. And those doors can be opened in 2018 to serve all the citizens in South Fulton as well as the College Park area. And that's the solution, not only accessing capital, but education and utilizing financial services. Thank you.
We want to thank Councilman Mark Baker for really sitting down with us because he recognized the importance of doing everything he can to increase access to capital to people in the 7th District. So we appreciate you, Councilman. Thank you.
Mr. Eric Bell, Mr. Mike Taylor, and Mr. Don Willis are the last two speakers.
First, I'd like to give thanks to God, our Honorable the Devil Father. Second, greetings, Mayor and Council South Fulton. My name is Eric Bell. And for 3 years, I've been organizing and working in a cohort of the Fulton County Police Department, as well as the Chick-fil-A, the Dorf House. And for 3 years, we've been sponsoring the Back to School Bash at Skate Town. This year will be on Saturday, August 3rd. Our goal is every year to give away 500 book bags to students of the South Fulton, South and South Atlanta metro area. And I'm here to ask not only the council, but also the citizens of South Fulton to help out and actually donate or do what they can to make sure that every child in our community has a book bag and school supplies they need to start the school year with. You can find more information on our website. That is BellForUs, BELLFORUS.com. And I'm always available to help. Like I said, I've been doing this for 3 years. We just want to make sure that our students have what they need. Thank you, and keep up the good work. The world's watching. Make us proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to speak. My name is Mike Taylor of the City Grove Community Association. If you haven't considered already, I'd like you to consider starting the next door agency. Now, one of the things we tried to do there in the cityhood campaign, but we were inhibited because we didn't have a .gov email address. We do now. One of the things that would the next door agency allow us to do is to keep in contact with the people. Most of our residents are plugged in into next door some way or another every day practically. I'm one of them. And that way you can send out information to them for spur of the moment things, especially like a meeting of this sort or any spur of the moment information that you would like to share with the citizen. It's not going to replace the website, but it will supplement it. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, good evening. My name is Don Winbush. I'm here tonight representing the Old National Merchants Association. And I want to make you aware that the Merchants Association has drafted a comprehensive strategic plan for economic development of the Old National Corps. This is about the rebirth of Old National. And we look forward to sharing the full plan as well as meeting with you to get your individual comments, suggestions, and ideas on moving forward. In fact, we're already moving forward. We're moving forward on 3 fronts. This plan covers 3 fronts. One is business climate. What is the climate for business on Old National? That's physical climate as well as social climate. Image and perception. And finally, recruitment, expansion, and retention of businesses on Old National Corridor. This plan includes such items as dealing with cleanliness and beautification, dealing with the recruitment of businesses, keeping the businesses that we do have, public safety, but not only public safety, but when we have triumphs in the public safety arena, to get the word out about things that we're doing positively. We realize that we can't do it alone, so our partners we're reaching out to, our strategic partners include the Urban Land Institute, GDOT, Development Authority of Fulton County, Aerotropolis, National Area Residents United, and of course the cities and all the local governments, state government and federal government. So we're reaching out to all of them individually. We've already had some commitments from the City of College Park to do some things up on their end. So we look forward to getting back with you, meeting with you individually to lay out the plan. We've had the pleasure already of meeting with Mayor Edwards and Councilmember Khalid, and we'll be reaching out to you as well. We're excited about it. The difference is this is a methodical, sustained approach to the rebirth of Old National. We look forward to laying it out for you. Thank you for your support in advance.
No further speakers. I would like to, if we could, adjust the agenda a little bit and to talk about the resolutions, the franchise resolutions, and those things up front. The ordinances.
Mr. Mayor, the first proposed ordinance you have involves Georgia Power, and there's several others in the franchise area. I'm going to defer to my colleague Brian Lake to walk through those for the council.
The first ordinance I believe we're looking at is the proposed ordinance adopting or approving the franchise agreement with Georgia Power for electrical services in the county. This is set up to be a 35-year term agreement. The franchise fee paid would be 4% of gross sales. The payment plan is set up to be paid annually every March. The first year payment, there has been a discussion with the provider, Georgia Power, to make a one-time advance payment that is not laid out in the franchise agreement itself, that it would be executed in a letter of understanding once the franchise agreement is finalized. The franchise agreement is also dependent upon finalization of all the addresses within the city being basically cross-referenced with the records of Georgia Power, which is currently ongoing. We've provided information to them and contact with them to get that finalized, but it is not executed yet. Are there any questions? And I would like to say, as this is an ordinance, this is not up for adoption this evening. This is being provided for informational purposes, not to be adopted tonight.
Can we proceed with the Greystone?
Yes, the second franchise agreement that would be considered, or the ordinance adopting the franchise agreement, is for Greystone Power Company. The essential terms of this agreement are virtually identical to that of the Georgia Power agreement. It is a 35-year term, 4% of gross sales paid annually. There's similarly been a discussion about a one-time advance payment by the by Greystone of some of the franchise fees. That is not reflected in the agreement. That is an agreement of principle dependent upon final execution of the agreement. I believe an individual from Greystone is maybe here this evening. I didn't see him earlier, but may be available if he wanted. If there were additional questions outside the terms of the franchise agreement or the proposed franchise agreement.
Does council have any questions relative to the Greystone right now? We can move on to the cable video franchise agreement.
The next ordinance proposed for your consideration, again provided for informational purposes, is an ordinance basically authorizing the city to collect franchise fees from video service or cable service providers operating in the city pursuant to statewide franchises. These are not local franchise agreements. There's a state statute that allows any video service or cable service provider to operate within a municipality or any part of the state pursuant to a statewide franchise. The local government then passes an ordinance authorizing the collection of franchise fees, the payment of which and all other essential terms of the agreement are governed by the statute. It's the Consumer Choice Television Act governs these terms. But this would be an ordinance, if passed, would be attached basically to a letter and authorization, or a letter of authorization sent to any video service provider or cable service provider operating pursuant to a statewide franchise to collect the fees. The fees would be 5% paid quarterly. Again, standard is set by statute. Any questions?
He indicated 5% paid quarterly on the agreement. Any other questions the council may have relative to ordinance 2017-6? Having none, if you can address the adoption of the taxation ordinance.
If I will refer to Jeff Alumni.
Good evening, Mayor, or members of council. The first proposed ordinance, again for informational purposes only, is a general taxation ordinance. We went through this in some detail in the work session. I'll go through it a little more briefly this time around. If adopted at the next meeting, the ordinance would establish the millage rate. It would be at the same rate as Fulton County currently has. It would set up a process whereby the Fulton County Board of Tax Assessors does as it does today, which is establish the value of the property. The millage rate would be applied, and there would be a procedure by which, actually controlled by state law, taxpayers could appeal that, and so on. This is merely the means by which the tax could be collected and the assessment of the property itself. The second is a hotel and motel tax, which is set as proposed at 7%, with 3% being able to be retained by the innkeeper, which is also covered under state law. This is something that is currently in place in most cities and in Fulton County itself. There are provisions in this part of the tax, as well as others, that allow due process for any person who is alleged to have not remitted the tax to the city. They would have a means to appeal that decision first at the city level and then at the Fulton County Superior Court. The next would be a rental motor vehicle excise tax, or rental excise tax, which is a 3% of the rental charge. This one has to go towards specific things which include public safety and the promotion of industry, trade, and commerce within the city. So that would be a separately accounted for tax and fund. Next would be the insurance premium tax, both on life insurance and on other forms of insurance. This rate is established by state law, and the way this one works procedurally is, if enacted by the city, the state insurance commissioner would be placed on notice that the ordinance has passed. The insurance commissioner would collect that tax and then distribute it to the city as he does to other cities throughout the state. After that is the financial institution or bank tax. This too is established by state law, which sets out fairly detailed provisions on how it is to operate, and its rate is established in the state law provisions as well at 0.25% of the gross receipts of the bank itself. That would be consistent with the current provisions in Fulton County. Unless there are any other questions, I can go on to the next one, which is the business and occupation tax ordinance.
Please, and following that presentation, can the clerk indicate the action that was taken in the work session of council?
Oh, after, okay, thank you. The next one is the adoption of business and occupation taxation ordinances. The last set of ordinances we discussed for a host of reasons are based on kind of melding together Fulton County's existing ordinances with those of other cities within Fulton County. This one is based largely, much more so on Fulton County's existing ordinance because that provides a level of continuity and ease of transition for businesses within the city. This one establishes a business license or business occupation tax or fee. And this one, unlike the other ones, you'll see there's a fair amount of deferral to the city finance director as city tax collector. Many of you know when you go and establish, for example, a business on the Secretary of State's website, it will ask you at some level for an NAICS code. That is a national code standards. And most cities in the county, in fact, base their business and occupation tax first on that code and then on the revenue of the business itself. This proposed ordinance does the same, and it would allow the tax collector and finance director to come up with the provisions that would apply to establish the tax per business as it is currently done in Fulton County and cities throughout the county itself. Like the other provisions of the taxation ordinance, it does provide due process for taxpayers as well as penalties for failure to pay and delinquent taxes. There is an exception under state law for certain professions, physicians, dentists, psychotherapists, etc., engineers. They each have a separate one, and that is a separate one set based on state law. That's reflected in this ordinance as well. The remaining provisions of the ordinance are largely what you see in any of them. There's a severability clause and an effective date, which can all be amended before the next meeting of the City Council.
Any comment?
I believe Mayor Pro Tem requested, Mr. Mayor, just before you joined us, to state that all of these ordinances, if I understood correctly, at the bottom of page 2, beginning with Roman numeral 1 about Georgia Power, and then all of the ordinances on page 3 for Greystone, for cable and video franchises, for the taxation ordinance, and for business and occupation tax. These are being presented not only to members of council, but also to the public at large for first reading today. And then you will have them again on your agenda at your next regular meeting agenda scheduled for June 27th.
I specifically wanted to address the request by council to look at those occupational fees compared to other municipalities.
Any further discussion?
Okay, so the request was, a motion was made by Council Member Rao, or Mayor Pro Tem, and seconded by Council Member Gilliard to request the CFO to do an analysis of the fee structure for each of them and to bring them back to council, and that motion passed unanimously.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Baker.
Just for the, excuse me, just for the edification of any of those my constituents who live in minor loop and have EMC, can you, council, just explain what's going on with EMC?
Yes, there's an additional Coweta EMC, Coweta Fayette EMC that provides power services within the city. We have been in contact with them. We anticipate that their franchise agreement, that A, there will be one, but also B, that it will be substantially similar to Georgia Power and Greystone, as those terms are set in many ways by state law. And we heard from them today, and we'll look forward to presenting something to you very soon.
Any further comments? Having heard none, Madam City Manager, I would like to do this. Let me hold the existing item because there's some personnel issues that we need to talk about in the executive session, so I'm gonna hold that existing item we have left on the agenda. Okay. Is there any other new business? Hearing none, I'm gonna do comments. I'm gonna do it differently this time. We'll go from left to right. Councilman Baker.
First of all, I'd like to say, to begin my comments for District 7, thank you for all of the support and the condolences while I was out on bereavement. Really appreciated myself and my family, all of the calls that showed that you were concerned. I really appreciate it. Just to update what's going on or what's been going on in District 7, Cornerstone Fellowship Church celebrated 21 years on last Sunday with Pastor Martin, who I think was around earlier, but also I wanted to point out that we did have a 5K run and walk race on last Saturday with Transforming Youth, and it was a nice turnout. I finished in 4th place out of everybody. I finished in 4th place. I would have been in 3rd if my wife wasn't calling me on the phone while I was running. But I did survive the run and walk, and I appreciate everybody's support and coming out. Next, I wanted to let Pastor Lockhart know that I haven't forgotten about Camp Valley, and my communications for Camp Valley directly will be extended further directly through you and Mr. Sherrod as well for the scholarships that were given out over the past couple, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, for the CNA, and I'm going to extend that opportunity to all the young people between 17 and 29 at Camp Valley, those 4 scholarships, if they're interested, and I'll provide that information for your subdivision newsletter as well. Also, if there's any businesses in South Fulton that you guys are aware of that are willing to take on apprentice, please notify me, mark.baker at City of South Fulton, ga.gov. I have a program whereas I can get funding for those businesses to hire and take on apprentice, whereas they won't even have to pay them for up to 6 months. So we're trying to get our kids employed, we're trying to get them working, and I just need you guys to assist with that. And if you found one on your seat, I did have a sheet for one of the apprenticeship programs that is already up and running now for Nick J's auto shop, where we have spots open currently. If you would call the number at the bottom, he has an apprenticeship program that's currently working. We're in conjunction with him to bring that to our young people in South Fulton. So please give him a call and please pass the information on. And that's it. Thanks.
I would just like to, I'm Rosie Jackson, would like to thank once again all of you for coming out. The mayor says this is the entire South Fulton, so I'll say that. I'm not going to say District 5. I'll talk to you all in a minute. But I just want to let you know that I will be riding with code enforcement in the morning. This is District 5, and if you have any concerns in that particular district, you could give me a call at 678. 678-849-5437, and we're going to ride the entire our district. And if there are things that you need pointed out, then if you would give me a call. But I have some concerns already for myself. But we are going to be riding tomorrow, and I have a call into Public Works as well. We have some overgrown grass in a lot of different areas, and one of my plans, what I did say, we wanted to clean up our area in South Fulton, and that's what we are beginning to do. And on August the 5th, 2017, we will have a back-to-school jamboree. We're inviting everybody to come out and join us. We are going to block off the Burdette Road area from Burdett Ridge housing down to the other part of it by the baseball field, the old baseball field. But we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna put our children back to school, and we're gonna try to put some of our parents to work. We're gonna have workforce development there as well. And I would also like to announce that Fulton County will start a front porch roll call when our police will come into our areas and into the communities and do their roll calls from there. And we have the need for the presence of our police officers. I might be announcing something that they didn't want to hear today, but I heard it last night. And we're gonna have it first at Melanie Manor in July. So we'll be our first choice. Anybody in District 5 that would like to have them come to do a roll call in your area, if you let me know, I will make sure that the message gets passed through. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to the city council meeting, to all the residents. I do represent District 3, and I want to know that I hear your concerns about the recent tax assessment notices that went out, and want to reiterate that the tax assessment notices has nothing to do with the city of South Fulton, but I am collaborating with our 5th District Commissioner in District 3, and there will be a tax assessment town hall this Thursday at Walkmore Park from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be an employee from the tax assessor's office that will be there to answer your questions and your concerns, and will assist you in filling out appeals if you feel that it is necessary for you to complete one. So please come to Walkmore Park if you live in District 3 or if you live in District 2, it doesn't matter, but there are several meetings that's being hosted throughout Fulton County, and I wanted them to have a meeting at Walkmore Park, since many of the District 3 residents have been concerned about their recent tax assessments. We had a successful 5K at Walkmore Park this previous Saturday. We had over 600 participants. There was the Greek letter, the Black Greek Letter Association that was there, and they raised money that will be used to benefit youth programs and children in the community. So that was the second annual event, and I'm looking forward to them coming back next year with even more participants. We also want to announce the Summer Youth Internship Program that's being sponsored by the county. It's for people with between the age of 16 to 24. And they are giving paid internships for the period of June 15th through August 1st, and with 30 hours a week, guaranteed 30 hours a week. So the deadline is June 20th. So please, if you have any youth between the age of 16 and 24 that is seeking employment and want to make some money over the summer, please check with Fulton County. You can also go to my website, send me an email, and I will I'll send a flyer over to you. I've shared it on my Facebook, but if you don't have Facebook, send me an email and I will send the flyer to you. I want to thank, at this time, public safety, the fire and police for helping with the tragic accident that happened on last week. What I will say to you is that the accident did happen in District 2, but the victims and the families were triaged in District 3. And Reverend Henry, he did an outstanding job hosting the families. He did an outstanding job of going beyond the call of duty, visiting the victims in the hospital. Our public safety team, they collaborated with multiple municipalities. And what I will tell you is that you would have thought they went through this before, because they were able to transport over 40 patients to multiple hospitals within 30 minutes. It was something that I had never experienced in my life, but what I will tell you is that the training, not only do we have well-trained public safety on the fire side and police side, but we have experience.
And if anything else, we need to do whatever we can to keep that experience in our county. We also have an experienced mayor, and that showed, because as a newly elected official, I would not have known what to do, what to say, and how to comfort families. I intended to go home and go to bed, but my mind told me to call Reverend Henry to check on the families, and he told me the families were at this church, Kingdom of God, and I needed to come down. When I got down there was luggage everywhere. There were people walking around in Band-Aids, bloody shirts, and slings, and the young lady who died, her family was upstairs crying, and the leadership from the mayor, Reverend Henry, and also the police department really showed that night. And I really want to commend them. I want to thank them. I want to thank the person who helped Mayor Edwards with the media protocol. We insisted that they not talk to the media, but they wanted to read the letter that was written by the young lady who died. Her mother gave it to me. And the mayor immediately got on the phone with a person, and they gave us media protocol. And the first thing was to take care of the families. The second thing was to protect the image of this city. And I think we did a darn good job. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions or concerns of me in District 3, please send me an email. I have a sign-up sheet in the back. Put your contact information. I have a newsletter I send out bi-weekly. And I also send frequent updates if I have something I want you to know. So please leave me your contact information. And if you have concerns about your tax assessments, I will see you on Thursday at Welcome All Park. Thank you.
Thank you. I bring you greetings from District 1. A couple of quick updates. Our Southwest Regional Library is undergoing a renovation. If you have some ideas about what you'd like to see with those renovations, I encourage you to weigh in with Fulton County on that. It's a multi-million-dollar renovation, and we want to make sure we have best in class in District 1 and across the city. Secondly, I had the opportunity to go on a code enforcement ride along Fulton Industrial as well as District 1 with Anthony Mullins. I want to thank him. He did an excellent job, and we were able to discuss some things we can do to strengthen our code enforcement in the city of South Fulton. So stay tuned for future recommendations and policy changes around that. I also had the opportunity to be hosted by the Sandtown Center HOA. Great questions, great engagement about changes in the city and sharing their ideals. And on this coming Thursday, myself and Councilwoman Gumbs will be at the Camp Creek Business Association meeting speaking at 8 a.m. And that'll be at the Holiday Inn Express right behind Walgreens. And for those who called me regarding the MARTA expansion down Cascade Road to Fulton Industrial, many of you may know was causing some major problems in terms of turning around at the end. They've gone back to the original route, and we have an upcoming meeting with MARTA to understand some of these proposed changes and the effect they'll have on the city of South Fulton, so we'll be providing an update on that. And last but not least, I'd like Kimberly to give a quick update on the letter that was sent to the county from the city regarding the Walton Warehouse project.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Just so everyone knows, I know there's been some zoning issues with the warehouse, and Fulton County Board of Commissioners considered it last Wednesday, I believe. It failed for failure to obtain 4 votes either way. I believe it was 3-3. Yes. Fulton County asked us to give an opinion about a Supreme Court case dealing with billboard signs. I provided that letter to Councilwoman Rowell and basically explained that we don't think it applies, and we still maintain our position that Fulton County does not have the authority to make decisions. The Board of Commissioners does not have the authority to make decisions regarding property located within the city, and we maintain that position.
Thank you.
Okay. First, I would like to thank everyone that came out to our town hall meetings that we had for District 2 and District 3 over the past couple of weeks. We had great turnout and you had some great questions. We look forward to doing that again. So again, thank you for coming out for that. Also to, again, just openly condolences to the families that were a part of that tragic incident that occurred in District 2. Again, we work together as an entire council and the city to make sure that these families were treated with care. So again, the public safety, all of the leadership throughout, the city of South Fulton, they did an excellent job. And then all the other municipalities, we worked together. So I was really happy to see that. On another note, District 2's Community Fun Day will be this Saturday, June 17th at Believe Ranch, 3265 Butner Road from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. I encourage the community to come out and meet your neighbors and enjoy our community. It's a day of fun-filled activities that have been planned, and there will also be a Father's Day competition, grill competition. So I encourage you all to come out for that. Also, June is Men's Health Month. How many of you were aware that June is Men's Health Month? All right, good, good, good. So as a health advocate, I encourage our men, definitely in the city of South Fulton, to go see their doctors and get checked out. On Friday, June the 16th, I am encouraging everyone to wear blue. We're going to call it Go Blue, and that way you're educating the community on preventable health care for men. And I look forward to you all participating. What I am asking you all to do is to take a picture in your blue. If you have social media, you can tag me. The hashtag is Go Blue, COSF, which is Go Blue City of South Fulton. And then I will recognize you and make sure that you all have that information. But this is a way to show unity to our community for Health Month. As Councilwoman Rowell mentioned, we will be at the Camp Creek Business Association on June 15th. For all the business leaders in the community, we'll love to speak to you to let you know that South Fulton is almost open for business. So I would love for you all to come out for that. And also, too, I would like to wish all of the fathers a happy Father's Day. This will be my first Father's Day without my father. So I understand a father's love is immeasurable. So I'm wishing you all a happy Father's Day and to also enjoy your day and have a great weekend. And lastly, I know that I have a lot of you on my email list. If you need to get information from me, please make sure you see me. You can follow me on Facebook if you are on social media, or you can send me an email and I can add you to the newsletter distribution. But I send out bi-weekly updates as well. And that's all I have. Did I take too long?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I need good this week.
Sure you will be.
Thank you and have a great weekend.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so very much for coming out. I hope I don't start coughing. I've been coughing for over a week. I'm really trying not to. But anyway, District 4, Naima Gilliard, District 4, we are planning a back-to-school jamboree on August the 5th. And we really thought that we might have it at the park, but Wilkerson Mill Park is really the only park that we have that works. We have one, Cedar Grove Park, but it's not, it's in dead condition, to be honest with you. But we're going to work on that. But at any rate, so we're going to have it at Renaissance Middle School. And our committee will have its first meeting on Thursday, and we have a group of people, approximately 15 people, who are committed to making sure that it becomes an excellent event. We're in the early stages of an education committee, and as you know, we talk so much about economic development and how you really can't have excellent economic development if your schools are not excellent. And so there are a couple of teachers and other educators that are committed, and this is something, and I'm so very happy that they want to do, and I'm going to help with that. The third one is the Community Environmental Committee. And this is really important because we have a lot of environmental issues, not just in District 4, but in many of our districts. So we're going to start it and hope that it moves from district to district. There are two other committees that are in the conception stage, which you'll hear more about them next month. And beginning next month, I will provide a District 4 report to the Cedar Grove Community Association that's held the first Monday of every month. I will try my very best to drive membership, to help the association increase its membership, and we're going to deal with a lot of issues head on. I'm still working on updating my webpage. Spending a lot of time on the budget and the charter. There will be an event put on by homeowners in Hampton Oaks for a cleanup campaign on Highway 92 around that area and Butler Road. And last but not least, Parks and Recreation will be invited to the July meeting of the Cedar Grove Community Association. And so I'm excited. We've gotten to a slow start, but we're catching up. So anyway, thank you.
Good evening. First of all, I want to say happy Pride and happy Ramadan to everyone celebrating those two things this month. We do have a Food Policy Council meeting Thursday at 6. The Food Policy Council is a group of concerned citizens, farmers, restaurateurs, and business owners that are trying to put together just a comprehensive green policy for our city. We don't just do food, although we are trying to create a growing South Fulton label to help circulate dollars and make sure that we're supporting people who are growing foods in South Fulton. But they also cover zoning, sanitation, we have a sanitation contract coming up. So they just look at all of these different areas to try and make recommendations so we can have a richer, greener city of South Fulton. So I encourage you to come out to that. It is Thursday at 6 at the Mance Estate. It's 7755 Hall Road. You can find out more information about this and a bunch of other stuff at my newsletter. I do one every week. You can go to KhalidCares.com to sign up or see me afterwards. That's KhalidCares.com. And then lastly, I want to thank everyone for their thoughts and wishes and prayers for the loss of my mom last week. We will be having services next Friday, but more importantly, next Saturday, June 24th, is the Susan G. Komen breast cancer race. So I will be running. I know there are a lot of survivors out there and a lot of people who've lost their loved ones as well. So I hope to see as many of you as possible out at Lenox Square Saturday, June 24th. Thanks.
These city councilmen work so hard, I really don't have nothing to say. But let me say this. Khalid Kapoor is an outstanding young man. And I can tell you that with the death of his mother, he didn't miss one beat in terms of doing his job as a city councilman. Didn't miss nothing. My colleagues can attest to that. He was there, so my brother, we appreciate you for all that you have done and that you do. Secondly, sometimes we take things for granted. You hear about police and fire, and sometimes you even hear about your chaplain. But if you have not had an opportunity to see them work, you've missed something. Because ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, they work. Reverend Henry should be applauded for all that he's done. He did an outstanding job, and he even took to the road on Monday to go to the funeral. So we talked about that a lot. I won't be related to that. It was great. I also like to acknowledge the presence of Donzella James. Senator Donzella James is in the room. And also I'd like to note the presence of a former county commissioner for 50 years, Rob Pitts. Lastly, I'll tell you all this. It ain't easy doing this job. For nothing, nobody sitting up here. We come through, we get a lot of scrutiny. The harder we work, the more scrutiny sometimes we get. But I can tell you that it has not stopped every one of them. Thank you, Ms. Watkins, for what you said, and we did hear you. And no, we got things we're gonna work on ourselves, all right? And we're gonna do that. But I can't find 7 more outstanding people to work with than the 7 of us up here. And at the end of the day, after the first 100 days, seemed like 100 years. After the first 100 days, I'm going to be proud to put out the accomplishments that this mayor and council has done in the first 100 days. And I think that you're going to be pleased. Not just scrutiny we take from other folks, but dealing with other governments and trying to get ourselves together. We have to deal with that too. But in light of it, we have done all that we can do. You know, transparency, these guys got all these websites and whatever you call them, newsletters, social. You know, I'm old school. I told them to bring me some pencil and paper. And, but they're getting information out to you. They really are. Khalid Cares and all these other things, they're getting it out to you. And they still have the opportunity to do things like Fun Day. There's the opportunity to get book bags for children. I mean, they're working very hard, so I applaud all 7 of them. I'm just here to back them up. When they call for the book bag day, I'll be helping to hand them out. But I just want to say thank you to all of them. They're wonderful people and they're doing you a good job. Okay? Well, at this time, I would like to entertain a motion to go into executive session on real estate, litigation, and personnel.
I would like to make a motion to go into executive session for real estate, personnel, and litigation.
Second.
Properly moved and second. All those in favor, aye? Aye. Go.